John Deere mowers, tractors, Gator utility vehicles, and implements you need to get it done fast. Plus, with low-rate financing and big cash rebates, James River makes owning a John Deere just as easy as it is to operate. Request a quote online at jamesriverequipment.com.
James River delivers affordable quality.
When you cast a vote for Kevin Gordon for Cleveland County Commissioner, you are voting for a dedicated and experienced leader with a proven history of providing strategic direction, operational management, best practices, and service excellence. He is a strong advocate for all public safety agencies. He is proficient in maximizing efficiency of county operations and resources. He's a champion of economic development and creation of jobs with almost 40 years of public service. On March 5th, 2024, cast your vote for Kevin Gordon for Cleveland County Commissioner. This announcement paid for by the committee to elect Kevin Gordon, Cleveland County Commissioner. Your train comfort specialist is CSI Mechanical in Shelby, serving this area since 2010. CSI Mechanical's goal is to provide peace and comfort with respectable, dependable, honest, and reliable customer service for everyone. They pledge to keep their pricing competitive and fair with no hidden surprising costs. 100% customer satisfaction is their goal. From air conditioning to heating to HVAC repair and maintenance to commercial refrigeration. Call on CSI Mechanical, located at 410 South Post Road in Shelby. Call 704-600-6267. Online at csimechanical.com. Today, having choices at the end of life's journey is more important than ever.
Think your team better, but they lack skill. First snap, I lay your backs in the backfield. Your quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Sent the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up. Clog a hole, no letting up. Taking on no big blocks. On fourth down, we get big stops. My secondary is balling out. Your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Call the special teams, come punt the ball and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Learjet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win, win. We just came to win, win. We must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. Come out and fire off the ball, we going on one. My skill position so proficient, break for long runs. Come out running that option, that mean I got the option to keep that or pitch that. Defense, they gotta fix that. 4 receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end so awesome. Touchdowns, I toss some. We score 6, scoreboard, that score 6. Respect the ball, we protect the ball. We don't fumble, no throw picks. I feed my linemen pancakes. For all they blocks are pancakes. Push you around like all night. End of the game, get your handshakes, huh? My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we must protect this house.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday night, KTC Broadcasting post-game show brought to you by Witherspoon. I mean, no, that was a pregame show. CSI Mechanical post-game
There you
show.
go. Steve Shirk
Sorry,
is proud of you.
Sorry, Steve. CSI Mechanical post-game show. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you. We're getting some of the scores in. We've actually got a lot of games still going on.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of scores in, so we're going to do our best to keep you up to date as quickly as we can, everybody. And we'll get you those scores and everything updated. I got to update some of my sponsors here. Like I said, CSI Mechanical of Shelby is our post-game sponsor. I want to thank them for doing everything they do year-round. I mean, here for us as well. They sponsor other sports.
Steve's got a new place over there
Yeah, he
right
does.
behind where the Ford place is in Shelby. And it's he stepped up and spent some big money over there. So if you're needing some heat and air, go see Steve. He'll make you a deal.
Looks nice over there.
I need him. I'm going to need him here in about
Another month. You holding out for a little bit?
Well, no.
Well, hey, it's
you
supposed
got
to be cold next week, Will.
You got to get everything in place before you can go say, hey, I need heat and air.
Yeah.
He'll say, I need money.
We do have some finals early, folks. You folks watching online, if you listen on the radio, you can watch the show live every Friday night on YouTube. Go to the KTC Broadcasting channel and watch us live on YouTube. We'll give the scores. We'll have some highlights and stuff. We got a nominee for catch of the night for sure. Had a tipped pass to himself, touchdown, Randy Moss type play in the end zone. We're going to talk about just
Anybody
a little bit.
run out of bounds and come back in and catch a
Not that we know of yet. We haven't seen the
Well,
highlights
those
yet.
points stayed on the board. They still scored.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I told Steve he better not give up and mess my record up against Bessemer by something silly like that. They better shut it down. I don't want to see at least be a real touchdown. You know how salty I would be right now if that would have been against Shelby and not Burns.
And Pasco hadn't seen it,
We
we showed it to him,
we let him do play-by-play on it.
and he didn't know what was coming.
Actually, I could pull that up. Let's do that. You want to see Brent Pasco
yeah.
One more
Absolutely.
time.
do play-by-play
Absolutely.
of the video earlier? It'll take me a second to pull it up, but yeah, I've got him. Let's see, that was earlier. Let's see, he was on the was that pregame show?
That's
Dennis?
pregame
Yeah, I was
show.
on the pregame show. So I'll find that here in a few minutes. But yeah, we had Pasco actually do the play. We said, Brent, we want you to pretend because you haven't seen it, and we want you to do the play-by-play.
He hadn't
here.
seen it?
No, he hadn't seen it. So
Oh,
we had him do
wow.
the play-by-play for it, and it was just
And,
hilarious.
I'll let you hear it.
Well, it might take me a minute to get
Oh,
to
yeah.
that.
It's
So
all right.
if you want to go somewhere over some of the final scores for folks on the radio,
Yeah, we'll
that
give
haven't
these
got the
scores
final
that
scores yet.
are finals. And while you're drawing up the film, Will, I'll take this first bracket on the left over here, and you can do all the rest of them. Crest tonight over North Gaston, 36-0. And Terry Reinhardt is a happy camper tonight, Will.
Oh, wow.
Well, he
His
was
West-
scared to death all night because Newton Conover was beating him for a while.
Well, he was mad at
First
me,
half,
I think,
first half.
last week because I picked the opposing team. But this week I picked West Lincoln, and they won tonight, 26-20 over Newton Conover. And the Burns Bulldogs, Tom Sinafani, call in 70-7. Will.
Don't call in on that game, Tom.
They got to have something to talk about.
Please do not call on that game.
He'll see us in the morning.
Yeah.
You got all the rest of them, Will.
There's no need for Tom Setafani to call in on a 70-7 game. No,
We don't even send our people up for that game. We don't even just send the sideline camera up for that one. It's bad on state. All right, I've got Brent's call,
Okay.
and let me see. I'm trying to find a good way to display it for you guys. Let's see. Let's do this, and let's see if this is Brent. I may have to fast forward a little bit. Let's see. Whoops.
Plays looking right.
Oh yeah, this is it. So 38-22. Let me
Yeah,
go back.
back it up a little bit.
We'll go back 38-13 here. All right, so this is earlier on the pregame show, and Brent had never seen the play where last week the Bessemer City player went out of bounds by about 3 or 4 yards, came back in, called it, touchdown. For you folks on the radio, you wouldn't believe it if by listening to what I'm saying, you probably don't believe it. The kid ran out of bounds 3 or 4 yards, came back in and called it, and they allowed it. So this is Brent earlier on the pregame show. We said, Brent, you're a play-by-play announcer. We're going to call it. So Brent's going to call it here as if he's never seen it before.
Well,
folks.
we think this kid may have been standing on the sidelines, and they only had 10
That's
on the
him
field.
right there.
Only had 10 on the field, but anyway.
Good protection.
All right, here we go.
Two tight end set.
All right,
and
here
an
we go.
H-back.
I'm about to hit play in 3, 2, 1.
All right, Bessemer's getting it's a pass play. He's looking right. He's going deep down the sideline. It's caught. And the receiver who was out of bounds.
Did you say down the sideline or out of the sideline?
Let's take a look here because the defender pulled up, noticing the receiver was out of bounds. But they
And
called
the
it.
Burns got a point.
Dummy.
He was over
He
here.
was out of bounds.
I have not seen that, but that was pretty good.
Put Brent on the spot there.
And he can't be the first guy that touches it, even if he was forced out of bounds. So I didn't see anybody else touch this.
Was he out of bounds? Was he out of bounds? Was it like his toe was on the line?
Yeah, I mean, he was 3 yards.
That was such a good thing. That was a good call, Brent. You
We
did,
had fun with it last
fantastic.
week. Sorry about that, Brent.
And the receiver who happened to be out of bounds.
He said the defender noticed the receiver was out of bounds.
But the referee didn't.
Yeah, but the 2 refs out there didn't. Oh, what a play! That was
One
such
on
a good
the
call.
line and one over.
He did such a fantastic job right there. I couldn't
That's
be any
pretty
more
good.
happy for how Brent did
That was pretty good.
We sandbagged him. I'll have to admit it. We sandbagged him.
He stuttered just for a second.
What was that?
You can't believe your lying eyes,
Oh,
Brent.
You can't hide.
Will said, "Don't worry, Tom won't call you today and give you the update. He'll take care of it on the morning show." 70 to
Not
7.
that we don't want to talk to Tommy, but
So Hendersonville cuts the lead up at East Rutherford. It is now 35-28.
Oh,
They're in
Come
the
on,
third.
East.
They're still in the
Come
third
on,
quarter.
East.
We got
Third
finals.
come on, East.
We're looking at the
Where's
schedule.
my little quarterback? He needs to come alive.
Will, we're looking at the schedule. East, this could be their 3rd straight win, and they have 2 winnable games after it. East could finish on a 5-game winning streak and go 6-4.
playoffs.
On
Can
the
you say
season.
playoffs?
Is that
It
not?
is-
Is that not
listen,
ridiculous?
As scary as it may sound, it is time to really start taking a look at playoffs. What could happen in the playoffs? But it's that time of the year.
Well, we've only got 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks after this? Right.
Yeah.
This is game 7.
We did a little speculating early on in the pregame show about, what would happen if this, and this had South Point beat Kings Mountain tonight,
62-13.
and then Kings Mountain beat Crest.
No, we saw
It would have been a mess, if you will.
and then that. Sorry, guys, do have a final. East Lincoln now is final. 62-13, thanks to Mr.
Is
Bruce.
that all?
I got a couple other ones. Bunker Hill, 28. Are there all these finals you wrote down? All right, so we got Bunker Hill is 28-6. Mountain Island was up 28-0. They finished 38-33. Comeback from Christ the King. Mountain Island wins, though, as they keep.
Oh, that was a good ball game.
I bet that second half was pretty exciting. Final at East Gaston, Bessemer City loses 43-13. And Will, you're getting beat by these 2A schools, but when you see Burns put 70 on Thomas Jefferson and everybody put 70 on Highland Tech and Jefferson, only giving up 42 to Burns and 43 to East Gaston. I'm saying that's not too terrible for Bessemer. Offensively, we didn't do nothing, honestly. but defensive wise,
I mean,
only giving up 40, right?
Yeah,
but they're a 1A playing the 2As, so they could make the 1A playoff spot.
Really good 2A teams.
I'm really the only sport that really matters is football.
Yeah,
because basketball season, of course, I think the Yellow Jackets beat Burns and Shelby last year.
Well, yeah, they're usually one of the top two teams in the conference.
So I think that may be the hiccup with the conference, because all the other sports that these 1A teams, they are winning in the conference.
Well, now that the legislature is in charge of high school athletics, we'll see if things get changed around in those conferences.
They're going to look at the total sports body of the conference. They're not just
football is basically line depth. Whoever's got the deepest lines, and then we can talk talent on offense after that. But for the most part,
if your line can block,
both teams, it's line depth. That's what we talk about. Those roster sizes, like you got 50, you got enough people to go. If you linemen aren't going both ways, you have such an advantage over the other teams, right?
Well, I'm going to make a prediction. When they reshuffle all these teams and everything, you may see a situation where you're playing certain teams in football and another group in basketball.
They might do
and
that.
Another in baseball.
They might,
based on what Kevin's talking about, your strength of, your roster.
Yeah, I think that, they do. I think they should look at the total sports thing of the conference. If the 1A schools are getting totally dominated in the conference, even in football, baseball, tennis, soccer, whatever, if they're getting totally dominated in all the high school sports, then it may be something you need to look at.
Whatever makes everything as competitive as possible.
And fair.
The Catawba Valley 2A conference has, I think, 8 teams in it. 6 of them are battling right now, like really hard in this conference. So that's what you want. And then East Berks isn't a pushover. They've lost every game, but it's not 28-6 to Bunker Hills. And that's not a dom. It's not 70-7 that they're competing with them. So that conference is really. I wish they could somehow do the football ones to where you make them as even as possible, because you want to go out and play and be competitive. You get beat 40-10, I can handle. The 70-7 stuff is just nobody needs to be playing those games at all. And then like what we talk about in our thing, that the roster sizes is what we mean. East Lincoln and Ford, same size schools. One of them has more football players. The schools currently, or they currently count all the students, not football players.
Right.
So you count the girls and the band and the cheerleaders, and everybody else counts to what class your football team's in, basically. And that does affect a lot of that. So we do got some finals, guys. We got some more black scores across the board. If you're watching online, that's what I mean, is that the black scores are finals. Red scores are still active / we don't know. So
/ we don't know.
Got to give us some credit. Give us we got 6, 12, 18, 36 games on the board. So give us a little bit of slack on that. So we're doing our best. That East Rutherford Hendersonville game has to be fantastic up there. Still waiting on the Brevard Chase final. Last time we checked, it was 21-14 there. Will, you want to go through all the black scores that I have?
Who was the leading in that game? 21-14.
Brevard right now.
Brevard is really.
Will, can you go through the black scores real quick for the folks?
It was
at home?
Crest 36-0 over North Gaston. It was Travel 46-0 over Highland Tech. West Lincoln was 26-20 over Newton Conover. It was the Burns Bulldogs 70-7 over.
Breaking news: Huss, Forest View,
Yeah.
overtime,
Oh.
12-12. Huss
Ooh.
beat South Point in overtime a couple weeks ago. Now they head to overtime with Forest View. Sorry, Will, go ahead.
It was the Burns Bulldogs beating the Thomas Jefferson Griffons 70-7. It was East Gaston Warriors over the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets 43-13. Community School of Davidson 56, Winston-Salem Prep 6, Pine Lake Prep 58, Bishop McGinnis Villains 26.
Update again. Overtime final.
Okay.
Forest View kicks the field goal on the first round. Huss punches it in for the 18-15 victory.
Oh. Jeff Miller,
18.
where are you, buddy?
He's at that game, actually, and he is tweeting the scores at that game. I just saw it come across. So Huss wins over Forest View to go to 3-1 in the conference and stay alive. And right now, they're the 3 seed in that conference. So that's what we were talking earlier, Will. South Point and East Lincoln were sitting in 6th place, both teams tonight, coming to tonight's play.
So they will be sitting at, they got Chris and Kings Mountain. Have Huss played Kings Mountain yet?
I do not know the answer to that, sir, but I can find out for you in just a few moments. How about you said Huss? Who's Huss got left? Let's see. Hunter Huss. Let's find us a football schedule here for the Huskies. 4-3 overall, 3-1 in the conference, and they've give up more points than they've scored this year. North Gaston next week, Crest the following week, and Ashbrook at home. So the Huskies.
So we got 3 weeks left.
Yes. 10 games overall. We've got 3 weeks left in the season. So the Huskies, they've got North Gaston next week in what should be a good game. Ashbrook should be a good game. We expect Crest to take care of business, but North Gaston, Huss looking at a possible 6-4 record and 7-3 if they can somehow pull it off against Crest. But looking at them, Will, here's your standings. Whoops, that was your standings.
Well, that Huss Crest game, that could be a trap game for Crest.
It really could.
If they're looking for Kings Mountain and don't take care of business, you know.
Huss offense has scored 149 this year. You guys have 353. But what I want to point out, Huss and Ashbrook could come down. South Point's sitting in 5th place now. They've just lost again, so now they're at 1-3 in the conference. Haven't put that up yet in there. So we're looking at South Point not even making the playoffs, guys.
Yes, I knew that was.
Huss and Ashbrook could be battling off their last game of the season for the last spot in the playoffs from that conference, unless the conference gets 4 spots, and then both of them may be in. So the Big South is about to get exciting. South Point folks have got to be pretty.
There will be insurrection in Gaston County.
Upset tonight about or this week about where they'll be. So
especially if Huss and Ashbrook make the playoffs and South Point doesn't.
That would be hilarious. In fact, to be honest,
That would be hilarious.
I'll laugh to the bank on that.
I'm not going to say anything.
It would be hilarious. I'll laugh all dang day. All right. Sorry. Back to some scores. Let's see if I got anything. Andre's keeping us up to date. We did have a couple finals come across in the last few minutes. We did interrupt you with that Huss. Final score. Got another final score. After leading the whole game, Bandy's loses 14-10 to Maiden. That is a final now. That is a final. Bandy's led pretty much all night, and Maiden scores, I think, in the 4th quarter to take that W away.
If I remember correctly, I think
Trojans.
I picked Maiden to win tonight, didn't I?
I don't know. Did you write your picks down? I know.
Yeah,
I think
them right
Brent
here.
did. I
Let
think
me
Brent
see.
did earlier. Pretty sure Brent did earlier.
He usually keeps up with his picks because he thinks he's.
I had Maiden.
But he bring every time he gets one right, he brings.
I had Maiden 34 and Bandy's 31. I knew it was going to be a close game.
So Maiden with the win. See if any other finals have come across the ticker before I get into what we have already.
And I went that way because of Matt Stover's son's playing quarterback.
And no, I don't have any other new ones there. All right, well, I'll let you start reading some scores again for the folks at home, and I'm not going to interrupt you on this one.
All right. And we have the Carver Yellow Jackets 26, the Corvion Community Cardinals 14. Mountain Heritage 45, Avery County 7, Lincolnton Wolves 49, West Caldwell 13. And you just heard him pull the score. Maiden 14, Bandies 10. Bunker Hill 28, East Burke 6. Mountain Alachorta 38. Christ the King Crusaders 33.
Yeah.
Close game.
Rock'em sock'em.
I think that second half would have been a really good game. You got North Stanley Comics 57, Lake Norman Charter 20. Here it is, Barn Burner. Wilt Central 7, West Wilt 6.
Shouldn't have missed that extra point.
What a game. North Lincoln 50, St. Stephen's 0. East Lincoln 62, Fred T. Ford 13. It was Hunter Hush in overtime, 18 over the Forcefield Jaguars, 15.
Yeah.
Hickory Red Tornadoes, 46. North Iredale, 13. Ashbrook, 41. Stuart Kramer, 6. North Henderson, 31. Franklin, 10. West Henderson Falcons, that's 30. Pisgah Bears, 10. Freedom, 37. South Caldwell, 30. And Kings Mountain, we don't have a score for that.
I think there's been how can I put this, a freeze placed on that score tonight. We're having difficulty finding that score. Need I explain more?
Lord mercy.
No. Oh, JP, I tell you what. Are you ready for a break?
Yeah, sure, yeah, I guess.
Why don't you take a little break?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Oh, here comes Kevin back. Yeah.
Let's take a break. Go ahead, take a break. We'll go ahead and take a break, JP. We'll be right back. KDC Broadcast and CSIMechanicalScoreboard.com. Are you ready for a break, JP?
He wasn't ready.
You are now. All right, go ahead, JP.
All right, with us today, we've got Stephen Churka from CSI Mechanical in Shelby.
Thank you, Calvin. Give us a call today to take advantage of our fall train promotions from now on going through November the 15th. Qualify up to $1,200 in rebates. Call us today to schedule your free estimate. 704-600-6267. Also, you can come by our locations for your Crest 50/50 raffle tickets. That's 410 South Post Road in Shelby, North Carolina.
It's hard to stop a train.
Your number one shop for all of your jewelry and gift-giving needs. Our showcases are full of classic and fashion-forward designs. I do have to say they're pretty incredible as I pick them out myself. Don't forget to come see me for all of your custom designs and engagement ring needs. Visit us, 4911 Falston Road, Falston. Shop us 24/7 online and follow us on social media, Wright's Jewelry Store.
The Transportation Administration of Cleveland County continues to operate TAC, Cleveland County Transit and Reach. The Cleveland County Transit route will continue to be free to ride until further notice. For more information, call 704-482-6705. Again, 704-482-6705. For schedules and times, Visit taxshelbync.com. That's taxshelbync.com. Drivers clean and sanitize their vehicles every route.
Plan now to attend this year's Cleveland County Fair, September 28th through October 8th. 11 big days of fun for the entire family. Entertainment includes Act Monsters Chainsaw Art, The Circus Incredible with high-flying aerial artists, The Electrifying Magic, starring Jay Matoli from America's Got Talent, and Showtime at the Apollo, and Hog Diggity Dog, the very best animal act ever, and Nashville recording artist John Morris, along with 40 ride-offer rides, games, food stands, and more. The Cleveland County Fair, September 28th through October 8th, online at clevelandcountyfair.com.
And we're back on the Witherspoon Insurance, the CSI Mechanical of Shelby post-game show. They kind of caught me off guard, so we only had 4 ads.
But you're complaining about us catching you off guard. And your job is to sit there and wait for us to press. Now, then you come back and you yell at us last ad and give us 4 seconds.
Yes, I'm aware. I forgot there were only 4 ads.
So about one thing and then do the exact same thing you're complaining
No. I was not yelling at y'all.
Only you'd put a big glass window between us and him, then he could see what we're
I know, it'd be
Okay.
nice one.
Yeah, well,
Or a video monitor above his head. You can see that.
Okay. First off, I was not yelling at y'all from me. Well, granted, I did yell at y'all last at 4 seconds before the vid, but that was on me. But here we are in the postgame show with half of our ministry. Half of them aren't here yet, so we're just waiting right now. Okay, we got the reverend, the deacon, and the youth pastor.
Will, believe it or not, as far as I know, he don't do drugs.
I don't. I just have issues with my head, okay?
For the folks that were wondering at home, I'm pretty sure he don't.
Oh, JP is an all-American boy when it comes to stuff like that. But I did notice in the pregame show he was
snorting on.
I came into the pregame show and JP had his shades on. I don't know if he thought he was Joe Biden or who, but
what's wrong over there? I just want to know about this shirt Will's got on. He's just straight chilling.
Hey, don't be jealous because your pastor don't love you enough to buy you a shirt. That's
Oh,
all
the
I'm
pastor
saying.
bought you a shirt.
Don't be jealous.
Church? Where y'all go to church at? Myrtle Beach?
it's going to be one of them nights, folks. First JP, now you. Huh?
Curious. Welcome to the show, Will. I don't know if you know, but Brent Pasco was here earlier.
I seen him. I met him again.
That was awesome.
It's my fault. I didn't introduce you
Brent,
guys.
I do apologize because there was no way for me to do what I did. and then after he say, Will, Brent Pasco.
When he said I'm Brent Pasco, I wish I had video of Will's face. Will didn't recognize Brent when he walked in there. He's like introduced himself to him, and then it is funny because JP does it all the time.
Yeah, I was about to say, sounds a little bit like me, Will.
That's what I was laughing so hard at because every time JP comes in here, he just don't.
When I came in, my glasses was broke. So.
Oh, there's a good excuse.
The glasses.
In fairness to Will, Brent is not usually here.
He's
right.
not.
Yes, he does have a good
show.
point with that. He does have a good point.
I normally, that's like my second time seeing Brent in studio. Like the other time was when we was in Shelby at WOHS.
Yeah.
So it's been forever and a day.
I tell you what I'm going to do, Will. I'm going to get a autograph of Brent Pasco for you and a picture. We got a caller.
Mr. Robbie Roop is on the line.
Oh, Roberto Rupe.
Hello,
I tell you what, guys, I'm excited. I rarely get to be one of the first callers because Chris usually playing at 11:30 because they're throwing the ball so much. We actually got done with this thing pretty quick tonight.
Well, Robbie, you should come in tonight and give us a play-by-play report of the Crest game tonight. North Gaston put up a valiant effort. That first drive, I thought, oh, boy, they watched that South Point tape, and they're going to control the ball all night. And the next thing I know, Crest had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, you know, 2 possessions. Chris had 3 touchdowns, thanks to an interception return, too. I mean, you know, hey, this is a much improved North Gaston team from what you saw last year. You know, that they got in there, they scrummed it up. And, you know, like we were talking on the radio, it was like a rugby scrum, and they had to give it to the fullback, and everybody just piled in the middle. And so they tried to do that, control the clock a little bit. Crest scored quick. Got into the second half. They played a lot of guys tonight. I believe Waddell and Brock Melton both that time at quarterback tonight. They used 3 or 4 different running backs. Some linemen got some time. So it was a good night for the Chargers, a good win. You know, I just can't say enough about North Gaston and how well they improved. And hey, I want to give a shout out to the people at North Gaston too, guys, because they were very gracious tonight, hosts, and it gave us a great place to do a game from. And being broadcasters, we certainly appreciate that. So big thank you to North Gaston and how kind they were tonight as well, letting us do the game. But Chargers move on, stay undefeated, and try to keep things going into next week.
Well, who's the Chargers got next week, Robbie?
They play Forest View. Play Forest View at home. Rest of the schedule, Forest View at home, Hunter Huss at home, and then close out the season at Kings Mountain. So 3 big games left. I tell you, guys, I heard that Hunter Huss score. That blew my mind because Huss had put themselves in the driver's seat of possibly, if they could upset Crest, finish in second, they lose that game, and all of a sudden them and South Point are battling again for third, even with South Point's loss tonight. So it's going to be it's just a shocker to hear that score from them because they were putting themselves in pretty good shape. So there's a lot, especially middle of the pack of the Big South Conference, a lot to shake out for those teams that are going to battle for a playoff spot. And what's going to happen, let's say if South Point sneaks in, they're going to be on the road taking on probably one of the top 7 seeds. And if I'm somebody, let's say like East Henderson or Pisgah, who got beat tonight, one of those teams that may win a conference, I don't think I want to see the Red Raiders in the first round.
No, they're definitely dangerous, even though at this point, Robbie, I can't remember a time when South Point would not have made the playoffs.
I got to tell you guys, I was looking at the RPI. I don't think there's, especially when you look at what they've got left, I think they'll win out. I don't believe they're going to miss the playoffs. I think they'll win out. It looks like the Big South, based on the RPI numbers, the top 4, maybe the top 5 could get in. Last time I checked. So I think they still got a shot to get in. It looks like, of course, Crest, Kings Mountain, and then we're going to come down to Hunter Huss, South Point, and maybe North Gaston. Right now, when you look at the RPI numbers, and what helps, they're playing each other now, and that's going to bump those RPIs up a little bit because it's a crazy thing to me, the formula guys, regardless of who the team is. I know at one point I was looking at it, and Crest had beaten Gaffney. Gaffney was 4-2. Well, Pisgah had beaten another team that was also 4-2, but had beaten a bunch of like no-win teams. But they were getting the same credit for a victory over their 4-2 team that Crest was getting for their victory over a 4-2 Gaffney team. And guys, we all know 4-2 teams are not built the same, they're getting the same credit.
Well, Robbie, I'm interested at this point. Can the Crest defense improve any? Are there kids coming up from the JVs? Because they've had a good JV year. Can some of those kids come in and help out in critical positions and allow you to move some more experienced players that are currently maybe going on the offense or whatever over to the defensive side? What's your take on Crest, preparing to go into the playoffs defensively?
I think, Dennis, I think defensively they are what they are. I mean, they're going to be what they're going to be, and I think the defense knows that if they can get 2 stops with the way this offense plays, you're going to get a chance to get separation on the scoreboard. And it's a lot different than what we've seen. In the past, Crest has hung their hat on great linebackers, great defensive plays. We dare you to move the football, and this Crest team's different. And they know they need to get timely stops, and if they do that, this offense is going to score points, and that's where this football team, I think, is going to be the rest of the year.
In the famous words of Flip Wilson, what you see is what you get.
You're exactly right. But, again, and I talked to Coach Soseby about this week, as a matter of fact, and he made a great point to me, too. He said, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, our defensive guys are having to spend a lot of time on the field because we score so fast.
Yeah.
He said, and that's just a fact. He said, our defensive guys are spending a lot of extra time on the field because we get on the scoreboard so quick. So that, again, getting those, maybe not making all the stops, but getting the timely stops are going to be important for this football team.
Yeah. And if you can get those, like I'll use the South Point game as an example. Even though you were behind, you made a couple of critical stops at a critical time and were able to win the game.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely right. You know, and that's been the key for this team is where do they get separation from? I go back to the Shelby game. They scored going into the halftime. They were going to get the ball back. Shelby did stop them on that first series, but then Shelby couldn't respond with the score. Chris got it back. Boom, Chris scores. They extend the lead. Same thing in the Burns game. They kick the field goal going in the half. They extend a little bit, but they also know they're getting the ball back. Boom, they put points on the board again, and they've extended the lead again. That's what this Chris team's doing this year. And again, I think again for the defense, timely stops, not a team, not a defensive stopper like Kings Mountain. Kings Mountain's got one of the best defenses in the area, maybe one of the best in the state. So they're not that kind of team, but they're going to score points quick.
Well, I ran into some very knowledgeable Kings Mountain football fans at the fair the other night after working in the booth, and the question I brought up, was regarding what everybody's on their mind is looking ahead. Can the Kings Mountain defense hold down the Crest offense, or can the Crest defense stop the Kings Mountain offense? And I'll be honest with you, the people seem to think, and this is Kings Mountain people, that the Crest offense is better than the Kings Mountain defense, and that the Kings Mountain offense can't really run over the Crest defense.
It's going to be interesting. It really is going to be two very different styles of play. We're going to see them, but a long way to go before then. Guys, right quick, I got a chance to see a great game Wednesday. Shelby Middle and Crest Middle got together. Crest Middle was able to beat Shelby Middle, I believe it was 22-16. But here's the crazy thing: they had to go back to the draw, just like happened last year between Crest Middle, Shelby Middle, and RS Middle. Guess what? Chris got the short end of the stick again, and Crest is out of the playoffs. Shelby and RS Central move on. But it was a great, hard-hitting game between two good football teams. And if I could just take a moment, I got to give a shout-out to a kinfolk. My cousin Luke Root plays for plays for Crest Middle School. Yeah. He played his heart out Wednesday, stayed in the backfield against that Shelby offense. He's been named to the Carolina Bowl, so congratulations to him. We're really proud of what he's doing. Going to be a ninth grader next year for the Crest Chargers, so I want to give him a shout-out. But, guys, keep up the great work. I was excited to be one of the first guys in. Usually I'm one of the last. Well, I was excited to be one of the first guys in, and we'll talk to you soon.
Well, thank you. We just wanted to say that we talked about it on the pregame, and we don't think that playoff system is fair. Let two of those teams play up against each other, and the winner, plays the other team that had a bye the next week. You can extend the season. There you go, Dennis.
The number one team gets a bye. Let 2 or 3 play for the right to go in instead of being on a piece of paper. I agree 100%.
You are.
And guys, we'll talk to you later, and keep doing what you do.
Thank you, Robbie. We're going to nominate Robbie for the middle school football commissioner.
Do they
have one of those? I don't know if they do. Go ahead and nominate him. Yeah, I'm all in for it. Some of the final scores, folks, we're still waiting on a few to come across. I'm going to go through the scores for the folks listening on the radio, and we're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to talk to David Potter, the Wesley and Newton Conover game, and hopefully we'll talk to Jeff Miller whenever he gets ready to call in, talk about that overtime thriller in Gastonia tonight. So here are some scores as we go through before our break. Crest 36-0 over North Gaston. Cherville 46-0 over Highland Tech. West Lincoln 26-20 over Newton Conover. Brevard 28-21 over Chase. Burns 70-7 over Jefferson. East Gaston 43-13 over Bessemer City. Community Schools Davidson 56-6 over Winston-Salem Prep. Pilot Prep 58-26 over Bishop McGinnis. Carver wins 26-14 over Corvion. Mountain Heritage 45-7 over Avery County. Robbinsville in the back and forth with Murphy wins 26-21. Lincoln 49-13 over West Caldwell. Maiden, late score with a win, 14-10 over Bandy's. RS Central 26-6 over Patton. Bunker Hill pulls away late, 26-6 over East Burke. Hendersonville and East Rutherford going back and forth. 35-35 was the last thing that I saw. Chip Carter just texted me, crazy game here. I'm trying to follow along on the Twitter, folks. He's tweeting out scores as they go. If you want to follow that, go to What's Up Shopper Twitter feed. Chip's got that. He's up at that game with the. We've got it covered, so you can know before I do. Probably if you actually got your Twitter feed up, because I've got it coming through mine. On 4th and 7 on territory, Hendersonville ties it up on 4th and 7 with a 60-yard touchdown pass.
Wow.
4th and 7, about the 40, and they get about a 60-yard touchdown pass. We'll show that highlight here in just a little bit when we talk to the folks. If you're on the radio, we do have highlights of all these games, of all our broadcasts. We've got 7 games of highlights tonight on our broadcast. So if you want to tune in on YouTube, we'll show some more highlights here. While we talk about the games on our broadcast, if you hear one of our callers on the radio, we'll try to show highlights during that time. Then we'll go through them all one more time near the end of the show. All right, back to the scores. Mountain Island Charter, 38-33 over Christ the King. Cherokee, 21-14 over Andrews. Roberson, 41-13 over Asheville. North Stanley, 57-20 over Lake Norman Charter. Wilkes Central, 7-6 over West Wilkes. North Lincoln, 50-0 over St. Stephen's. East Lincoln wins 62-13. Hunter Huss, 18-15 over Forest View.
In overtime.
Hickory wins 46-13 over North Iredale. Ashbrook, 41-6 over Kramer. North Henderson wins 31-10 over Franklin. West Henderson wins 30-10 over Pisgah. And Freedom wins 30-7 over South Caldwell. Special announcement for you Kings Mountain and South Point folks. I want to know the score of that game. They wouldn't. South Point would not allow us to broadcast the game, so therefore they didn't want us to cover the game and talk about the game and do anything about the game. So if you want their score, you can email their athletic director. If he doesn't want us to broadcast the game, you can contact him and give him the score. We are not reporting Kings Mountain South Point score tonight. If you want the score or have any questions from South Point, please email their athletic director at WKHyde, that's WKHYDE, at gaston.k12.nc.us. For you folks at home, you can see the email down here on the scoreboard. I've got it posted in their corner. That's WKHyde, WKHIYDE, at gaston.k12.nc.us. Please email the South Point Athletic Director and ask him what the score was, since you wouldn't let KTC cover the game. We don't know what it is. So we're not going to report on them if they don't want us to be there. So that's the story on that one, folks. For you Kings Mountain fans, sorry. You can watch their post-game show. Oops, they don't have one. You can listen to their post-game show. Oops, they don't have one. So if you want to score, please email South Point High School and the athletic directors there. We'll be back in a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
All right, with us today, we've got Stephen Churka from CSI Mechanical in Shelby.
Thank you, Calvin. Give us a call today to take advantage of our fall train promotions from now going through November the 15th. Qualify up to $1,200 in rebates. Call us today to schedule your free estimate. 704-600-6267. Also, you can come by our locations for your Crest 50/50 raffle tickets. That's 410 South Post Road in Shelby, North Carolina.
It's hard to stop a train.
Local, scratch-made, and delicious food right there in Boston. It's Johnny Ray Smokehouse. The menu is loaded with delicious slow-smoked barbecue, brisket, burgers, salads, plus Friday night is rib night. And be sure you start off your meal with their famous fried cheese curds. They're out of this world. Stop by today. Johnny Ray Smokehouse, 4629 Boston Road, Highway 18. Open 11 to 8 Wednesday and Thursday, 11 to 9 Friday and Saturday, 11 to 9 on Sunday. Like them on Facebook too.
You work hard every day to provide for yourself and your family. Why not let someone else help out every now and then? As your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, that's why I'm here, for peace of mind, and to help you to protect what matters most to you in Cleveland County. I'm Bert Costner. Call me at 704-482-2436 for a quick auto, home, or life insurance quote, and to learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money. Be sure to ask for me, Bert Costner, 704-482-2436.
Call Bert Costner, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, today.
It's time to suit up in your new team uniform from Bradley's in Shelby. Select from sublimated or screen printed, and Bradley's does all types of embroidery, from polos to caps to blankets to bags. Bradley does it all, and they can do signs, banners, and magnets too. Plus, they can even wrap or letter up your vehicle or trailer. Remember Bradley's for all your advertising specialty needs. Bradley's, 2522 West Dixon Boulevard, Highway 74 west of Shelby. Online at bradleysports.net. Like them on Facebook, too.
You don't want to jump in a cold car on a cold morning and with no heat. Of course not. That's why it's a great idea to have your car's heating system checked over with a stop in at A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. They can do all kinds of heater repair. And remember A-Plus Automotive for all of your automotive repair needs. Talk with Charles Heston and you'll be back on the road in no time at all. That's A-Plus Automotive, 1900 Elizabeth Avenue in Shelby. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Call 704-482-0441 and like them on Facebook too. Take your pick on a brand new Bobcat mower from West End Sales in Vail. Pick 0% APR financing for 60 months or get an $800 instant rebate. You just take your pick and pick out your new Bobcat mower. Take a look at a Bobcat ZT2000, $500 instant cash rebate. A Bobcat ZT3000, $700 instant cash rebate. Or the Bobcat ZT3500 with an $800 instant rebate. See them today at West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail. Online at westendsales.com. Like them on Facebook too.
And we're back with the CSI Mechanical Shelby postgame show with our Reverend Dennis Davis, our Deacon Will Boykins, our youth minister Kevin Hastings, and our AV coordinator JP in the house once again. And we have a phone caller.
Well, hold on one second on the phone. Well, yeah,
Okay.
we'll talk to the phone call. That's fine. Jeff Miller, is that right?
Yes, it should be Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Jeff, overtime in Gastonia. What's going on down there?
Well, I'll say that Forceview came to play, and they had opportunities in that game to basically take it from Hunter Huss. But, they've, gotten to the red zone like 4 times. Tonight, I think only got 2 scores from that, or it may have been 5 times and only got 2 scores from that. Missed a field goal, or, mishandled a field goal, I should say, and then the other time was an interception by Gene Neely. I went to junior high school with his dad, and then Forest View had an interception of their own at the end of the first half to keep Hunter Huss from taking the lead back. It was 12-7 at halftime, and Hunter Huss held Forest View out of the end zone the entire second half. It was a turnover late in the fourth quarter in Hunter Huss territory that did the Jaguars in, and Hunter Huss was able to take that ball down the field and tie it up. Now, it was 12-7, so you're wondering how they tied it up. Well, there was a safety in between there. So it was 12-9 after that, then 12-12, and then the rest is history. Forsyth was held to a field goal, and then Forsyth just couldn't keep Hunter Huss out of the end zone, and that was all she wrote.
So Jeff, tell us exactly how did overtime happen?
Well, basically, Forsyth came to play, and Hunter Huss, I don't know what happened with the South Point game, but Huss seemed a little bit off tonight, and I know the coach was not very pleased with the performance after the game, and I can understand why. I mean, both teams, I think, left something out there, but I think it was a rivalry game, and it was Forsyth's homecoming, so they wanted to show out, and, they're still trying to get that elusive 100th win for Coach Chris Medlin. But it was basically, what I called the Ashbrook North Gaston game last week. We say slobber knocker, but I say it was a sloppy knocker tonight as well.
So Forest View, they scored first in overtime, correctly, on a field goal?
Correct.
So tell us a little about how overtime happened. How did Forest View, they got stopped, or exactly how overtime, everything that went down in overtime?
Well, Forest View tried to run it on Hunter Huss, and basically Hunter Huss wasn't having any of it. On the first 2 downs, they gained 1 yard apiece, and then they went for a pass play, and it was broken up in the end zone, so they had to score a field goal. Hunter Huss, 4 yards on their first carry, and then 3.5 on their second carry, and then boom, touchdown.
Right.
And celebration ensued.
So the Huskies, we looked at their schedule a little earlier in the night. They've got North Gaston, Crest, and Ashbrook, and it looks like we've got South Point sitting down in fifth place right now, and Ashbrook and Huss may be playing for a final playoff spot with South Point on the outside looking in right now. Jeff, is that what we're looking at?
No, I think it's Crest and Kings Mountain, then Hunter, Huss, and South Point. I think South Point is fourth place, but that score will be settled. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that'll be settled this coming Friday when South Point hosts Ashbrook.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I might still say South Point is on the inside, or they are in a wild card spot. But it's going to be a lot on the line next week for South Point as they host Ashbrook. It's going to be on the line for both of them. Because Kings Mountain did beat South Point.
Jeff, Ashbrook scored 41 tonight. What do you see happening in that game next week between South Point and Ashbrook?
Well, I think Ashbrook is capable of scoring points, but South Point's offense, they stay on the field for so long. I mean, they're just very methodical. It's like 3 yards here, 3 yards there, and then 4 yards and first down. And, they have a tendency to basically lessen other teams' possessions with that triple option.
Yes.
And Ashbrook, I think, might have their hands full against South Point, but I think Ashbrook's going to come and play hard because they, too, got a playoff berth on the line.
Well, Jeff, we're looking at the standings right now online. Kings Mountain Crest 4-0, Huss and Ashbrook both 3-1, and then North Gaston and South Point tied at 1-3, sitting there in that fifth spot right now.
Well, keep in mind, I don't know what happened with the Hunter Huss game. I heard their quarterback went off against South Point, but South Point has played Kings Mountain and Crest, and Hunter Huss has not played Crest yet. And then, of course, Kings Mountain and Crest, I'm going to be at that game at the last season, but that's the best I can explain South Point being low, is because they've already got the two toughest games on their schedule out of the way. And then playing a much improved Hunter Huss team. The Big South is quite interesting this year, wouldn't you say?
They lost the toughest 3 games on the schedule this year. So they've lost to Huss, they've lost to Crest, and they've lost to Kings Mountain. So
Then Charlotte Christian in a non-conference game.
Yeah. So are they really? Are we still really looking at them to make playoffs, and they've lost to the toughest teams in the? Who they got left? They got Ashbrook in next week, and they got to win that game. That's got to be a game that they have to.
They have to win out. They're sitting at 1-3. Playoffs start next week, don't they, Jeff?
Absolutely. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about South Point having Ashbrook and Forest View and North Gaston on the rest of the schedule, and I just don't see Forest View and North Gaston giving South Point a problem. I think Ashbrook. I still favor South Point in that game, but when you got a team fighting for their playoff lives, anything can happen.
All right, Jeff. Well, I appreciate you. Where are you going next week?
Well, I'm probably going to head to the coast next week, but if Mother Nature does her thing and some games get moved to Thursday, I would really love to go to that Ashbrook South Point game.
All right. Well, Jeff, be careful with whatever you decide to do, and have a great weekend this weekend, sir.
Thank you. Y'all have a great one as well.
All right, Jeff Miller, covering Gaston County there, Carolina Varsity. I did get a final in overtime. East Rutherford goes down 41-35. We're going to talk to Chip Carter and Steve DeGree here in a little bit. They're both out at that game right now. Steve just texted me when he gets home. He's going to give us a call around 11:30. Maybe we're going to talk to David and Potter right now in just a second. Then we're going to talk to Ken Link from the Cherville and Highland Tech game about 10 after 11. Then we'll have Steve about 11:30. And so we're going to talk to some of these folks, some of the scores coming across the board as we wait on David to give us a call. Still in that Statesville West Iredell score, but David's going to call us about Lincoln. Is he on right now? Lincoln County scores real quick while we have David and on the phone. We'll give him the scores and conferences. Lincoln in 49-13 final. Maiden, that's over West Caldwell. Maiden 14-10 over Bandy's tonight. West Lincoln wins 26-20 over Newton Conover. East Lincoln wins 62-13 over Ford. North Lincoln wins 50-0 over St. Stephen's. And we're still waiting on the Statesville final. West Iredell was winning last thing we got 18-13. We should have on the phone now David Potter, who was at that West Lincoln Newton Conover game tonight in our Lincoln County Game of the Week.
Oof, what a game. It got tight.
It got tight.
That was a game that West Lincoln looked to be thoroughly in charge of. It was 26-14 at the half. They got the kickoff to start the second half, drove down, and didn't do much with it. There really wasn't a lot of possessions in the second half. I mean, they just gave it back to Newton Conover. They didn't do much with it. And then all of a sudden, with about 9:30 to go, you got a high snap over the head of Gideon Allen. He has to fall on it at the 18, and a minute later, here comes Newton Conover scoring. It's 26-20, and then it got a little crazy after that. A lot of penalties, mistakes. Newton Conover had a couple shots at it, drove down the field. Interception in the end zone by Gideon Allen. Real nice play. Jumped up in front of the receiver while running backwards and made the catch, falling in the end zone. So they were able to run the clock out after that, but it was a game that looked like they were in control. Suddenly, it got really tight at the end, and I'm sure they were popping some Rolaids over on the West Lincoln sidelines.
Well, David, West Lincoln's, their only loss is to Bunker Hill right now. Bunker Hill won again, so they're basically,
right,
fighting and holding on to that. They're defending the number 2 spot right now as long as Bunker Hill wins out and they win out. That's pretty much what they're fighting for, right? And that division, and that conference is pretty tough, 2 through 6 there.
Yeah, you've got West Lincoln at 3-1, Lincolnton at 3-1, Maiden at 3-1. West Lincoln has the tiebreaker over Maiden. They beat them first time in a while. It'd been Bunker Hill and Maiden for a long time in the conference. West Lincoln gets by Maiden, but they can't get by Bunker Hill. So right now, West Lincoln, they've got they got West Caldwell next week, so that's almost a bye game. And you're looking at Lincolnton and possibly West Lincoln in the last game of the season.
Well, a lot of our games, we're looking at all of our conferences, might be coming down to that. You guys have Lincoln County Game of the Week. North and the East may be playing. What if I told you, any time before the season, David, that North and East may play to end the season, and neither one of them might be in the playoffs?
Well, neither one might be, or it might be one of those deals where right now you've got Hickory, and I guess West Iredell was leading the last we knew, so that would drag Statesville down to 3-1. It could very well turn out where East Lincoln and North Lincoln are playing the last game of the season for the third and probably final playoff spot out of the conference.
Exactly.
Not that game needs any more fuel to add to the fun that always goes on there. Those of you from North Lincoln and East Lincoln will know the references I just made.
How pumped and rowdy will the North Lincoln folks be knowing that they could have a chance to knock out the defending state champion and their rivals
Your mama went to East
in the last week of the season?
Your mama went to East. That's my favorite quote out of that rivalry.
Well, yeah, because East's been around a lot longer. So, I taught school at East Lincoln back in the 90s, and my kids went to North Lincoln. So, I can't say much either.
Your daddy went to East. Well, Dave, we're going through the highlights here of the night. Who was the big name players in your MVPs tonight?
Yeah, for the sub of the game, we gave it to Braxton Smith of Newton Conover. He came in defensive lineman when they needed some fresh bodies out there, forced the fumble that helped set him up for one of their possessions. So he did a great job. offensive player of the game, we had to give it to two. Jalen Winnick ran for 113 yards, and then Keegan Bostic came in and started in place of Caden Smith. Caden Smith did not play at all. He had a rolled-up ankle. He was in uniform, but they were not going to use him if they didn't have to. And Keegan Bostic came in 23 carries, 115 yards. So they got co-offensive player of the game. And then defensively, Ben Sane was all over the place. He made life miserable for Logan Adair, the Newton Conover quarterback. A lot of pressures on him, tackles on running plays. We called his name quite a bit during the game, so he was the defensive player of the game. And then overall was Gideon Allen. Managed the game well, especially in the first half. Did a great job running the ball, handing off to the correct person. They only threw 4 times, completed 2, 1 incompletion, 1 interception, and West Lincoln's first touchdown pass of the season.
So yeah, while you've been talking this last minute, I've been showing that pass. That's their first pass and touchdown of the season?
Yes. They didn't have any up to this point. They don't throw it often. They had only thrown it 21 times in the first 6 games.
Well, we're watching this play. Whoever they faked to, it was a fantastic fake. He ran a great fake. He had me fooled on it. Listen, I couldn't get a number on it. It might have been Winnick up the middle, or you could tell me otherwise. But
with Bostic up the middle, but then he pulled it out, rolled out, and threw it to Landon Fitzpatrick in the back of the end zone.
Gotcha. Landon Fitzpatrick with the touchdown there. So West Lincoln, let's see. Who do they have next week? Do you know off the top of your head?
West Lincoln's got West Caldwell.
Okay, yeah, that's what you said. You just said they got the bye next week.
That'll probably be a running clock at some point.
West Caldwell's had a tough time this season.
Yeah. Them Ford and St. Stephen's, my goodness, those poor kids on those teams. God bless them for putting up with what they do, and they keep playing hard.
Well, the good news, Ford and St. Stephen's, somebody's got to win that game. Ford might have a chance to end their streak this year with that game. West Lincoln finishes at home with West Caldwell next week, at East Burke, and then home with the big rivalry against the Lincoln Wolves to finish the season. David, next week you guys are at Lincoln, East Burke at Lincoln, is that right?
That's correct. That's what we're looking to go to, and East Burke playing a little better football these days, and they gave Bunker Hill a test, and they ran for 330 yards against Newton Conover a week ago.
Right. So they've lost a lot of games, but their scores 33-24, 36-22, 48-30, 34-25. All of those are giving up 30s, but they're scoring 20, so they're giving these teams some runs. They beat Patton and Freedom earlier this season.
So Lincolnton can't look past them. I mean, down the road is West Lincoln and all that, but you got to take care of business first. East Burke.
Lincoln and Wolves, East Burke next week. We'll have the broadcast, and Lincoln and host Maiden, and then Lincoln will be at West Lincoln. All right, David, thanks for everything you do, and good luck, and be careful and everything this weekend. Have a great weekend.
All right, thanks.
All right, David Potter and Scott Tudor on the call. Those highlights brought to you by Tanner Halbert. He was just here a minute ago. I was going to have him give us a talk, but David got home in time to make the call. Who you got, JP?
I got Ken Link.
Ken Link's on the phone. Ken Link was at Cherryville tonight. Ironman picking up their first victory of the season down at Homecoming for Highland Tech. We actually have the highlight of the Homecoming Queen. We'll pull her up here in just a second. But first of all, Ken, big win tonight. Ironman 46-0 over the Highland Tech Rams. You tell us a little bit about how that happened.
Well, both teams come in, had not won a game, and I was honestly thinking it'd be a pretty close game, but it was evident from the get-go that Cherryville just had a better squad, and they ran the ball at will. They didn't have to pass it much at all. I think they threw 5 passes all night and completed 2. But they grounded out, and they created some turnovers. They had 3 interceptions on the night, and I think a recovered fumble as well, and had 2 pick sixes by the same player, Andron Patterson, one for 55 yards and another for 70 yards. Josh Ward was the overall player of the game, the quarterback, who had over 60 yards rushing, a couple touchdowns, and played well on defense, had an interception on defense as well, and just had a good game all around, and it never was close. Actually hit the running clock with about 6 minutes left in the game, something I never thought Cherville would do this year. So, but it's good to see Cherville win a game, and they got Thomas Jefferson next week, so they possibly could win 2 in a row.
Yeah, Coach Pruitt felt good about the 1A schedule. They usually do pretty good against those teams, and you know the way they scored or played with East Gaston earlier a couple weeks ago, Ken, I thought they might blow Highland Tech out tonight, and they did a pretty good job, 46-0. You got the running clock. Is that the first one you've seen while doing some Ironman football, I guess, but on your end?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can say I don't know how often that's happened, but they hit it with about 6 minutes left. So, it was 28-0 at half. So, like I said, it was never in doubt, and I think it helped everybody's spirits and Cherville team obviously get a win like that. And Coach Pruitt's playing a lot of young players. I mean, he's starting a couple freshmen now, as well as getting a lot of playing time as they got up in the game. So,
well, next few weeks you said you got Thomas Jefferson, and then they host Burns, and then at Bessemer City. Is that how it finishes up for the Ironman?
Yeah. The next 2 games are home games, and they're on the road for the last game against Bessemer.
All right,
Hi, with us today, we've got Stephen Churka from CSI Mechanical in Shelby.
Sorry.
Thank you, Calvin. Give us a call today to take advantage.
Hold on, Ken. All right, you there, Ken?
Yeah, I'm still here.
He's got all kinds of phones ringing in his defense on this one. So we're showing some highlights of the night. Real quick, your players of the game tonight for the Ironman.
Yeah, the defensive player of the game was Andron Patterson, who had a 55-yard interception return for a touchdown in the first half. Second half had a 70-yard touchdown interception return. Player of the game, overall player of the game, was Josh Ward, who played well on offense and defense, quarterback and offense, and actually had a lot of rushing yardage, had about 60-some yards rushing. And the offensive player of the game was the big running back, Shamir Moss, who had over 60 yards rushing, and sometimes he had to be gang tackled by about a half a dozen folks before they'd get him down. So those are our players of the game.
They got him listed at 5'9", 245. That's kind of tough to wrap up, isn't it?
That's a bowling
ball. It is.
Well, we're looking at one of the pick sixes. This is the second pick six of the night for you. What did you say his name was again, the young man's name?
Andron Patterson.
Whoop, got it at the 10, and he gone. Number 4 there, folks, for the Ironman.
Yeah. The only problem we had where we had to set up outside, they were real accommodating and had us a table and chair, and we got set up, but it's like at the 5-yard line. So, most of the play for the first quarter was down on the other side of the field. So when you're about 70, 80 yards away, it's hard to tell what, down where the ball was at and that kind of stuff. So on that interception return, I knew it was long, but I didn't know how long it was. Was it 70, 80, 90? Because I couldn't tell where he got it. All I know was it was a sideline pass. He picked it off. And there was nobody around. He had it easy all the way.
It looks, Ken, like it's about the 18-yard line. That's the 20 there, Will.
Is that the 20?
Yeah, so he's almost it's just inside the 20 when he picks it off. You had some pressure from your D-line. Let's see. Good job. If you can hear it on there. Outside linebacker come up, made it, hit the quarterback. Pass drops away. Picked off by the I would say 82, 83-yard touchdown return.
Yeah, in the first half, I say it was about 55. Again, that was guessing. And it was a good play the first half, but because he cut across in front of the receiver in the middle of the field, picked it off, got down to the left sideline, and went down there and finally cut back about the 20-yard line, made a couple of people miss and took it in. So it was probably even a more impressive run because he had to work harder to get in there. So.
All right, weekend. Will you have a good weekend? And I guess you're gonna watch some Atlanta Braves this weekend. Is that your go-to?
That's some Carolina Tar Heels and some Atlanta Braves. That's it. That's it.
That sounds like the thing to do, Ken. I like the way you think.
There you go. Okay.
Hey, good to hear from you, Kenny. Tell everybody up your way I said hello.
I'll do it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ken Link, Danny Aker, for all you do. Cherville Ironman football. So basically, getting some news and notes across here, and I'm sure this will be the big thing that everybody talks about. We don't know any details, so please don't call and ask us. But the news is at Statesville, according to their official football Twitter feed, and JP just whispered in my ear, and I'm looking. The game was suspended due to the threat, not an actual shooting. Someone threatened to shoot someone in the parking lot. I don't know what happened. They confiscated someone's gun and they canceled the game immediately for something that happened was happening in the parking lot. The game will resume tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. with no fans. 4:43 remaining in the third quarter. So 4:43 remaining in the third. West Iredale was leading 18-13. Statesville has the ball on the other side of the 50. So Statesville's driving. West Iredale's leading, but they're in the third quarter, folks. So plenty of things could happen. They're going to play tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. is what I'm being told, and what Statesville football is. And I'll show it here on the screen for them. That there's their post as far as what happened.
Well, Kevin, we've had a recent rash of these things, either fights breaking out or shootings.
Well, it's definitely better to fight than shoot somebody.
Yeah, at football games in various places, whether it was Charlotte, Mecklenburg, or whatever. Fortunately, we've not had that problem here in most of the schools that we cover, and I think that's because our people are interested in football. If you're going to get into fights and gun-ins and all that kind of stuff, go somewhere else. Don't endanger all the people in the stadium because you're not happy with, how much whipped cream they put in your hot chocolate.
Take your beef away from the schools. Take your
Take
beef away
your
from the
beef
kids.
away from the schools.
Keep it.
Don't interrupt football game. Not only does this interrupt the players, it interrupts the students who are there to pull for their team. So why would you interrupt this game? Now the game is going to be played the game is going to be finished without fans. And a lot of time when you're on the field, you need that fan motivation, especially in a game like this that has this kind of, ramifications.
And the problem is most of these people who are doing this are not students at these schools.
This probably has nothing to do with the school.
Absolutely nothing to do with the school. This is something.
Two idiots don't like each other. Somebody disrespected somebody. Yeah. And if you can't, and that's one thing that people need to explain to the youth. If you can't handle being disrespected, then that's so childish to worry about.
You're not going to make it in the world.
You disrespect me. My wife and kids disrespect me every day. What are you talking about? You got to deal with it, right? My dogs, cat. You want to be disrespected? Buy a cat. They'll disrespect you all kinds of ways.
You ain't even got to buy a cat. I got two that just show up at my house every day. That means they disrespect me because I be telling them to get off my porch. So
Hey guys,
I got disrespectful neighborhood cats, y'all.
I hate to interrupt, but Steve DeGree ain't gonna be able to make it, but I do have him on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve, you there?
Steve, you gotta turn down your radio. Turn down your radio. You got us now, Stevie.
Yeah, how you doing, fellas?
Yeah, just make sure that radio's turned down while you're talking to us so we don't get that echo come back. Steve, you're in overtime up in Forest City tonight. East Rutherford had a chance to win at the end. I think you were trying to tell me on the phone, and it just didn't happen, and Hendersonville pulls it out.
What happened was East Rutherford was going in to score. They tackled the guy, horse collar, and then the guy who did the horse collar throwed his helmet off. So that gave East Rutherford the ball inside the 20-yard line. So they had the ball. They got the ball down inside the 5, I think. So they're throwing the ball. East Rutherford threw the ball. The
Hendersonville man intercepted the ball and ran it all the way back down, and then they went to overtime. What all East had to do was just keep the field goal and win the game. So they went to overtime, and East never scored in overtime, and Henderson got the ball, and they gave it to that big kid named C.J. Landrum. That was y'all see this kid. They say he's a Division 5 prospect. If you remember from the Shelby game years ago, fellas, he was a freshman. He was wearing number 44 then. They gave him a 0. He played the entire game. So they put him in the Wildcat, and he scored the winning touchdown, and they won 41-35.
All right. And we're looking at that replay now. The touchdown and won the game, 41-35. That is a big back. He drug some people in the end zone with him.
Yes.
He made contact about the 3-yard line. He went 10 feet, dragging the Cavaliers. So nice little run there. But it was an exciting game up there, Steve. You know, in Forest City for Hendersonville. You know, they have only won 2 games this year. And East, in overtime, I was just wondering about the atmosphere up there. It was a fun game to watch. You're usually at Shelby games. You usually don't get to do this too much.
Well, I tell you what, fellas, I'm still impressed with the East Rutherford Cavaliers. They got a number 11 guy. If you look him up on the schedule, up on your roster there, Kevin, he can do it. He's a great ball player. And, they got a number 21, the big running back. He's got a brother, number 10. Those kids, they play hard. I just think when they get a little bit more on the defense, there'll be something to reckon with. I really, really thought they had the game. And I also got a chance to talk to Carlos before the game. And hope Carlos listening. Fellas, it was a little emotional when I got there. I surprised him. Let him know that people in Cleveland County love him and proud of what he's doing. And also, Coach Russ, I talked to him, and we let him know we're proud of him. From where they like in the death penalty to what they got going on now, and I just let him know that Cleveland County's really, really proud of him.
Well, Steve, number 11 is Blake McClellan. He's a junior, wide receiver and linebacker, 6'170". Number 21, Pinkerton, is a sophomore, running back, 6'150".
And I think number 10 is his brother.
Number 10 is Matthew Pinkerton, free safety wide receiver, and he's a sophomore quarterback. So I guess sophomore twins there for the Pinkerton.
They don't eat at the Pinkerton house.
Both Will says, Mom and Pinkerton, feed them boys. They only weigh $1.50.
Steve, those coaches.
I was quite impressed with their offense. They got a real, real good offense, a big offensive lineman. And, like you say, it's just taking them a little while to jail. But they let one get away. East Rutherford was the better team tonight. They should have won the ball game. In my opinion, that last play cost them when he threw it. I think they should have ran it. But, I'm not to second guess the coach.
Well, Steve,
and I lined up for the field goal. At least tried the field goal to win it with the clock running out. But shoulda, coulda, woulda, but they didn't. But anyway, they played hard. So, that's all you can ask for your kids. Give you a chance to win.
That's it.
Steve, that coaching staff for East Rutherford has one guy that was a former player at Shelby, one guy that was from Burns, and one guy that's from Crest. You got the best of Cleveland County over there in Rutherford County helping them out.
Right, and they got this other coach. He's been coaching also there in Rutherford County for 27 years. I talked to them guys, and they was, real hostility. And I really enjoyed them talking to me and welcoming me in. I was really, really wanting them to win. And I didn't want to leave. I started to leave, but I'm glad I stayed.
I'm glad you said I just that game got good at the back end, so that's probably one of the better games of the night to be at.
Right, and it took a little longer too because that homecoming, a little girl named Jada Stroud, I believe, was the homecoming queen for East Rutherford tonight. So they had homecoming too, so that took a little bit of time. But overall, East Rutherford, they coming up, fellas. They might still could get a playoff spot because Chase lost tonight too. So they still could get a playoff spot, maybe a third seed.
Correct, Steve.
And RS Central won tonight, 26-6 over Patton. So
And they play each other next week.
Yeah.
I think East and Central play each other. East only got 2 games left. They got to play. I think they play Polk County last. They're going to play RS next Friday. So if they could maybe split and or maybe win both of them, they still could get a playoff.
Polk County is not as
and the
potent
playoff
as
in
they've
Washington
been.
County, from where they came to where they are now, that's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, Polk County is not as potent as they have been.
Well, Coach Hollis is not there anymore. He retired with that situation up there. So they've struggled some, as you said. They've been up and down a little bit this year.
Yep. So that's what I had to say, fellas. I just thank the guys from East Rutherford for welcoming me in, and I'm not sorry that I went to the game. And I just feel sorry for Carlos because the coach is working so hard, man. And you know, you lose like that. I know it's really discouraging to the kids, but you know, if they hold their head up, they still can make a good playoff run. They're gonna be a dangerous team in the playoffs because their offense is great.
Well, I think East has done well for themselves this year, but their thing is going to be this next off season.
Oh, boy.
How much do they improve in the next off season?
But if them guys they got coming back and that big offensive line come back, they're gonna be trouble. Huge offensive line.
Well, Steve, we've looked at it. We were talking in the pregame show. The offense looks pretty good right now. The defense has been a little leaky this year. Has been their Achilles heel, and they scored a lot of points tonight, and they gave up a lot of points tonight. So kind of been their thing. Maybe looking forward in the next few years, they bolster that defense, and they can put together a pretty good team and compete on a high level here.
Yeah, I think Carlos, maybe get him in the weight room and put some more of his concepts in the game, and you can also tell that East Rutherford run some of them Cleveland County plays by the trap plays they ran, and some old plays I can tell that some of the plays came from Cleveland County. I can tell by the way they was running them plays. So.
Well, all right, Steve, I appreciate you calling. We got to get to a break and get some more. We got highlights and stuff. Show everybody. We've been showing highlights while you've been on the phone of this game. Looked like a fun game to be at. Thanks for going to it and covering for us and giving us a call tonight.
All right, fellas, we'll see you next week. We got Shelby, we got Bessemer City, and Bessemer City lost tonight. So
remember,
we got to take care of business.
Remember, no touchdown passes. Whatever you do, no touchdown passes. You can give up 40 runs, I don't care, and win 160 to 80. No passes. I got one record, Will. I got one thing I can put my name on. I want to be the last.
Passes.
No passing touchdowns. Remember, I'm the last Bessemer quarterback to throw a touchdown against Shelby. It's been 23 years. I got to have something I can say.
Hey, that was the backward pass, right?
Do what?
That's the one you threw backwards.
No, I didn't throw no ball backwards. It was a 45-yard post to my tight end who couldn't catch. It was just I can't believe he caught it.
I appreciate y'all, man, and I'll see y'all next. I just couldn't leave. I wanted to come, but I thought it'd be better for the station if I stayed to get the details so I could tell people.
It's all right, Steve. You did a great job up there tonight covering the game, and I'm sure you had fun out there on the field as well. You have a good weekend, bro.
And also, the one up there, I also got some. I coached up there a couple of years back in 07, 08. I got to see a couple of guys that I used to coach that came down there, saw me, came down there, gave me a hug. Oh man, that was outstanding. So
glad you had a good time, Steve.
I did.
All right, Steve. Have a good weekend, bro.
All right, brother.
All right, Steve DeGree was up at East Rutherford in Hendersonville, 41-35. JP, we got to go take a break right now. The second, when we come back, we'll give you the scores in the area.
Be back in a second.
All right, with us today, we've got Stephen Churka from CSI Mechanical in Shelby.
Thank you, Calvin. Give us a call today to take advantage of our fall train promotions from now going through November the 15th. Qualify up to $1,200 in rebates. Call us today to schedule your free estimate. 704-600-6267. Also, you can come by our locations for your Crest 50/50 raffle tickets, That's 410 South Post Road in Shelby, North Carolina.
It's hard to stop a train.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electrical system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk or in the dark altogether. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts at Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Bridges True Value Hardware in Kings Mountain is your one-stop shop for your fall home, garden, and lawn needs. They have the best selection in Kings Mountain of indoor and outdoor plants, plus lawn renovation supplies, fall fertilizers, 23 fire ant solutions, cool season vegetables, and hand and powered lawn tools. And they have flock feed and pet supplies. Check out their patio furniture, some handmade by local artisans, and their fire pits, heaters, and kerosene heater tune-ups. Bridges Hardware at the corner of Kings and Kessler Streets in Kings Mountain. Open Monday through Friday, 7 to 7, Saturday, 8 to 6. Full Throttle Power Sports and Law is proud to announce the addition of Brian Lane to their sales staff. And Brian wants to take this time to invite his friends and former customers of Al Lane Motorsports in Lincoln to come see him at Full Throttle Power Sports and Law, featuring brand names like CF Moto, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Polaris, and more. See Brian Lane at Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk of I-85 in Law, online at ncfullthrottle.com. Take your pick on a brand new Bobcat mower from West End Sales in Vail. Pick 0% APR financing for 60 months or get an $800 instant rebate. You just take your pick and pick out your new Bobcat mower. Take a look at a Bobcat ZT2000, $500 instant cash rebate. A Bobcat ZT3000, $700 instant cash rebate. Or the Bobcat ZT3500 with an $800 instant rebate. See them today at West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail. Online at westendSales.com. Like them on Facebook too. If you need fireworks for your event, then call on Contracted Pyrotechnics and talk with Dustin Ledford today. They are the bomb. Dustin is a graduate of Burns High School and supplies all the fireworks you've seen at the Burns High School football game. If your town or organization needs fireworks, call Dustin Ledford today at 704-473-1996. Again, that's 704-473-1996. Have a party, have a blast with Contracted Pyrotechnics.
Drop the bomb on me.
And we're back on the CSI Mechanical of Shelby postgame show.
Again.
And you swear JP's not on drugs.
He is not intoxicated.
That was not his face.
He's not. He's
what
not.
was that, JP?
Oh, goodness.
JP.
It was me trying to entertain my sister. Me trying to entertain myself.
Oh, boy.
Entertain yourself.
Wait a
minute, we got a name for that.
He should be a YouTube star. That's
You
exactly
should
what
be
he
a
is,
YouTube
isn't
star.
it?
That was wow.
We'll let him read the scores. That would be fun.
Yeah, let's go.
No,
let's
not.
go.
JP,
Let's go, JP. Can you see it? Can you see it?
I've written them down.
You got it?
No, we're not doing that.
Hey, JP, let him get the first. Get that first block, JP. Get the first block.
With the Crest one in them?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Crest, 36 over North Gaston Wildcats. Cherry Wyoming, 46.
Time out, back up.
What?
You said Crest 36 over the North Castle Wildcats.
Yeah,
What did
36-0.
they get? Yeah, you forgot the zero part. You got to say the whole thing.
Okay.
Next line.
Crest, okay. So we do Cherryville now?
Yeah,
Okay.
Cherryville.
Proceed.
Cherryville Ironmen, 46-0 over the Highland Tech Rams.
Uh-huh.
West Lincoln Rebels, 26-20 over the Newton Conover Red Devils. Brevard Blue Devils, 28-21 over the Chase Trojans. Burns Bulldogs, 70-7 over the Thomas Jefferson's Griffins. And the East Gaston Warriors, 43 over the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets, 13.
Well, I won't be needed anymore, thanks to JP. He just put me out of a job.
He did.
No.
Not really.
Lincoln 49-13 over West Caldwell. Maiden 14-10 over Bandy's. RS Central 26-6 over Patton. Bunker Hill 28-6 over East Burke. Hendersonville 41-35 over East Rutherford in overtime. Mountain Island 38-33 over Christ the King. North Lincoln 50-0 over St. Stephen's. East Lincoln 62-13 over Ford. Hunter Huss in overtime 18-15 over Forest View. Hickory 46-13 over North Iredell. Ashbrook 41-6 over Kramer. West Iredell Statesville is postponed 18-13. They'll pick that game up 3 o'clock tomorrow, Saturday.
Idiots
no
in the
fans.
parking lot.
No fans. Yeah. Community School of Davidson 56-6 over Winston-Salem Prep. Pine Lake Prep 58-26 over Bishop McGinnis. Carver 26-14 over Corvion. Swain 21-13 over Hayesville. Mountain Heritage 45-7 over Avery County. And Robbinsville 26-21. Cherokee 21-14 over Andrews. Rosman 48-21 over Owen. Roberson 41-13 over Asheville. You know what? Owen's got a cool nickname, but if they'd get off the maroon, their football team would be a little better. North Stanley 57-20 over Lake Norman Charter. Wilkes Central 7-6 over West Wilkes. North Henderson wins 31-10 over Franklin. Tuscola 41-0 over East Henderson. West Henderson wins 30-10 over Pisgah. No scores from South Henderson. Ashe County, last score we got was 35-7 over High Rate. There is no South Henderson, Will. 37-30 Freedom over South Caldwell. And finally, for you folks looking for that Kings Mountain South Point score, you need to email the athletic director at South Point, WKHYDE Hyde, WKHyde@gaston.k12.nc.us. They wouldn't allow us to come down there and broadcast cover the game tonight. So if you want to score, you got to call their post-game show. They don't have one, so just call. I'd give you that. I'd give you his phone number if I had it. But you can call the school, leave a message, leave an email, wkhyde@gaston.k12.nc.us.
Wait.
What, Will? You wanted to say something. You want to see some highlights?
Let's see some highlights.
Will? Let's do some highlights. How about that?
Exerting the energy on the lost cause.
Right. You are correct. Hey, let's start here. How about Highland Tech Homecoming Queen?
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Now, we couldn't.
Oh, that's cool that their dads walked them out.
So we
You
couldn't
don't see that no more.
We couldn't do I can't hear her last name. It's Maddie something or another. So we're trying to listen real hard. If you can pick it up at home, more power to you. I listened to it 3 or 4 times. I just can't make it out, and I don't want to say something wrong. Let's see. Here we go. Highland Tech Homecoming Queen.
2023. Maddie Strew.
Maddie Strew.
You say Strew, maybe. But congratulations to Miss Maddie. There you go. Homecoming Queen. Folks, if you got video of homecoming or the band or a parade or something, we'll play it here on the post-game show. We love hearing the fans in the stands. I've got some East Rutherford music coming up here in just a little bit. Their band was playing tonight. If you're listening on the radio, we showed highlights. I'm scrolling down through our Twitter feeds, see all the touchdowns we're about to go through here and show you from the start of tonight's broadcast. You can all of our scores and updates are broadcast are tweeted or X posted. I don't know how to say that now. But
X posted.
Is that what you're supposed to say?
Yeah.
I exposed it.
Yep.
See,
you can't tweet no more because it's X.
That's the only thing. Name your business whatever you want. That's the only thing that I don't like about the name, him changing it or taking over it, is that y'all had all this cool lingo. I'm tweeting that all the tweet in the streets and all that. You could say the word tweet, Twitter, and tweets in all kinds of different ways, and that was kind of the fun part of that. So yeah, it's
you
hard
never
to say.
heard of an ex post facto law?
Anytime somebody says X something, I'll start looking out the side of my eye, like, where are we going with this? I don't want to say. Anyway, I want to get into that. All right, how about some of the from the band at Chase tonight getting ready as Brevard came on the field? Let's listen to the Chase band. Well, if I mute them, you can't listen to them. That's the Brevard.
That's the drum line.
Brevard Devils coming out on the field tonight. Brevard won over the Trojans tonight on the farm. Drumline welcome everybody into the stadium.
Oh, that's them coming into the stadium. Is that the Trojan band coming into the stadium?
I don't know. I think it is.
I thought you were playing that because Chip Carter walked in.
Yeah, that was his entrance music. July Stinson, want a happy homecoming for her. Cheerleader over at Highland Tech. This is Juwan's daughter over there at Highland. Who was there for homecoming tonight. So want to highlight her a little bit. Say
Juwan, I'm glad she looked like her mama.
Hey, Hey, Will.
All right, over at East Rutherford tonight where Chip was the coin toss. Good shot there, Chip. And then how about the Cavaliers in the living room? Can't play too long.
Hey, 6'6", big boy.
We'll get kicked out off the YouTube for Guns N' Roses there, probably. Cherville goes up 7-0 on this quarterback keeper. This is over at Highland Tech for you folks unfamiliar with the background there. Quarterback keeps it tonight. How about the scoop and score for Chase? Will's back to the most perfect place you could be on the DB. A one-hop scoop and score from basically the fastest player on the defense probably over there. He gone. So Brevard is just a regular sweep right. I mean, he couldn't be any more plain. So
Pitch right.
Almost cost Brevard the ball game, guys.
That reminds me of that Panthers game the other day.
She takes it in the end zone for a West Lincoln touchdown.
Caught the end of this is a pick six. Jordan, this is a 2-yard pick six. 2-yard interception. Over tonight. How about
surprise?
That is a sack. We got a lot of scores. We'll skip the sack. Nice play though. That is the West Lincoln band, or Newton Connor band. Yes.
Drop that dime over his head. Drop the dime, and Danny Dimes is on the deal.
I mean, right over the defender's head. Didn't catch the end of it there. Must hit Paul's. Cameraman got excited. See if I can get him up in the air right there. Oh, there's the shot for you, Will.
There's the shot.
As a quarterback, those throws you like that. And see, you never see on TV. I wish they would somehow have the camera. You know how they got that floating cam behind the quarterback? I wish they'd show that more often so you can actually see the lanes the quarterbacks are throwing in, and you get to see passes when the quarterback does put touch over a guy, as opposed to just a lot of people like the guy's wide open, you throw the guy wide open. That's not it. That right there is a good pass.
Well, it's interesting, Kevin, because I was listening to a guy the other day. He was talking about the Panthers and why they're not successful, and it was because that Bryce Young, when he was in college, he didn't consider them open unless they had a huge window in order to put the ball into. But he said in the pros, if you've got 6 inches, throw the ball because that's open.
The great ones throw the receivers open. The good ones throw it to open receivers. So that's how I like to.
Speaking of the great
Crest Chargers, a little touchdown pass.
That is Adams.
The line of scrimmage is the 4-yard line. Woo! You got it all.
So everything has to be across.
Right. Your whole way. East Rutherford goes up 7-0 here. Pinkerton's all over that field. Was they were saying earlier.
Brothers all over the place.
Pinkerton boys need some Pintos though. They need a Pinto plate.
Yeah, Will said they got to eat. They only listed at 150.
150? 6 foot
6
1.
foot 150.
Reminds me of a buddy of mine I volunteer with the golf tournament. We were talking about Will Zalatoris, really skinny guy. And I brought him before I could finish the sentence. He's like, somebody hand that man a sandwich.
6 foot 150. That is.
Appreciate Coach Steve giving his recap on the game.
Here's the Brevard going up. No, this is Brevard tied it after Chase with the scoop and score. Brevard comes back down the field. This time they don't toss it to him. They hand it to him.
Let's see if you can hold
Hang
on
to this, please.
East Rutherford handoff up the middle.
Fooled me.
Pinkerton gone.
Get out of the way. We're trying to watch the game.
Newton Conover and West Lincoln look like the same colors as Hendersonville and East
I
Rutherford.
broadcasted this game a few years back, and Newton wore the regular uniforms like the blacks, Chip. So it was red tops and white bottoms and red helmets. I had no idea who was going.
It was like the game a few weeks ago, Brevard versus RS.
Yes, that's exactly what it looked like. So you had to wait to see who crawled
Set
up
blue.
off the ground and who was who. But Newton Conover with a touchdown pass here. West had a little trouble with the passing game tonight, but they come out with a victory nonetheless. All right, Rudisell going in for Henderson. Looks like they got some size for those runners and stuff. Chip, like those look like some big boys out there running around for Hendersonville.
C.J. Landrum and coach.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness.
How about this pass? Chase.
Oh my.
Up at,
Is that the definition to take the top off the defense?
That's taking the top off the defense. Ain't nothing there.
Brevard against Chase. Watch this pass, folks. He throws it from the 21. And the land at the 37.
Wow. That's a pretty good team.
40 yards in the air.
He absolutely let the defense catch up when he put too much air up under the ball. He let the defense catch up. He had probably 3 yards on him when he released the ball. He had to wait on it.
I'll tell you what, Will.
Yeah.
As a quarterback, when you see, I want to show you, this is how you know a receiver's fast, okay? So, like, there were some players I had to throw it as soon as I let, right there. You'll see what he did. He faked it, and he threw it immediately. He didn't make a read. He didn't look to see if somebody was open. He knew if he didn't throw it, the dude was going to be way past as far as his arm go. Like, I've had guys like you know on the team, like, and it's exactly, you got to rush.
I mean, he's in pretty good stride. I mean, that lane's right in pretty good stride.
Great throw.
Boom, yeah, that's
good throw altogether. So that was Brevard and Chase. Now, let me fix this real quick on the screen. I'll do it. All right. We ain't got just about 5 or 6 more minutes. No, we got 10 minutes left. So we got to get out by, got to be done by about 10 till 5 till. Ironman made it 13-0 with this little plunge over the middle. How about Bandy's maiden? This made it 7-0 Bandy.
Oh yeah, that's a hard run. I like it.
That's like the C.J. Landrum from Hendersonville. He was a man-child tonight. Y'all saw that last play of overtime. I mean, he dragged, and that wasn't an isolated play. He was dragging East Rutherford interior linemen and linebackers yards after first contact.
I seen on that play when they was cut.
Well,
I mean, they're as usual. As usual.
That's pretty.
as usual. That press receiving core is good as advertised. And until you go see them live, until you go see them play, you can watch all the video and everything else. But till you go sit in the stadium and watch them play and watch them get open, it's going to be more of that receiving core get D1 offers.
All right, this is East Gaston going up 22-0 in their victory over Bessemer City tonight. Then some more West Lincoln highlights here. We talked earlier, I was giving some folks in the red zone some pointers. Rule number 1, and try not to get shake out of your shoes. Don't go for the inside leg. You better aim for the outside shoulder. DBs.
That's bad.
DBs.
That's bad. Well, okay, so you got to give credit to the receiver that came down and made the block and got him out of position to begin with.
He didn't even give him a stutter step. He just took one deke and So what I was saying,
gave him a dead leg.
For you DBs out here, with the running back, the angle he's taking, the best advice I can give is take that angle and go as hard as you can to the outside leg and outside shoulder. If he cuts inside and beats you well, you got help. But if you let that happen, he walks in the end zone. So that was always my thing as a safety. I'm like, well, my job is to keep them from scoring after everybody misses him. So I found way more success. That you'll miss a couple every now and then, but you got help on the inside. You ain't got nothing on the outside. When you do that, it's walking in for 20. DBs, take note.
You saying on that?
Watch this one. Watch this catch.
Yeah, this is the catch of the night here, Will. Toss up.
I didn't think he came down with it at first. And I was like, wait a minute, he caught that?
Ford Price from Jerron Ward into the corner of the end zone for Hendersonville.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Up.
I'd say
That's
Jerron
a
Ward.
lot of motion before.
I'd say Jerron Ward was the offensive player of the game.
That's a lot.
Let's look at the line. Is there anything illegal here?
Yeah, so you got your quarterback moving and your back getting set up at the same time.
But Will, only one can move at a time.
Only one can
They got to
move.
have a second stop. They got to have a second pause.
It got to be a whole second. It's got
See,
real.
in baseball, there is no like second. The rule is a pause. Now, here's what I do want to know: are there more Hendersonville people on the sidelines than in the stands here tonight, Chip?
That's the far left side of their stands. I mean, they traveled decent. It was if you go farther to the right, they had a few more.
So about 40 people.
Thereabouts, yes.
So did they have more on the sidelines or the stands? That's all I need. That's all the answer I need. Don't know. Bessemer City fumbles. East Gaston picks it up and scores here. Or no,
always open.
This is the
always open.
This is Zach. Called it. This is Zach reading the
Always
defense.
open.
Him and that lady in the purple in front of him saw that wide receiver open.
Always open.
You know, as soon as Zach said this,
Always open.
watch the safety for Bessemer just standing still in the middle of the field here on the right. It's face safety. Well, dude, he's already passed.
Always
you. He's
open.
jogging to you. Yep. There you go. All right, Bessemer. All right, how about Brevard punches it in from the two-yard line. Handoff right side. Made it 21-7 Brevard. Let's see. Bessemer scores. How about this one? Handoff left side. Anthony Smith with a touchdown for the Yellow Jackets. More action. This is the final score. Now, Chip, this is the only touchdown pass at West Lincoln this year. And I can't say enough
What
for
is
how good
going
of a
on with
fake.
78? Every time I see him, I'm
Kevin,
like, what is 78 doing?
He was blocked by his own man, Will.
But hey,
It might be 28.
It might be yeah.
the goal
You know,
is
that's sad. He's so big that 28 look like a 78.
that's going to be one more pass than Bessemer City has next week, right?
Bessemer throws it.
But I'm saying who they're playing. You told me who they're playing next week. That's going to be one more touchdown
Right.
pass.
Better be or Will or Steve can't come back in. that's it. Steve, you can't come back in. You're getting the pass. So I want to give credit to the running back here for West Lincoln. The fake was fantastic. Some people don't get it. If you really have to carry your fakes out sometimes, and the what this kid did
Sir,
right
that
here was
is not the
fantastic.
running back.
Right there.
That's the
This
fullback.
kid. Well, whatever you
Watch
wanna
that tackle.
call it. He ain't no full of nothing. Will, he's about $120.
Watch that tackle over.
So Will wants to talk
the
about
left.
this 28 here.
Yeah, but look, move over and watch this other guy. This guy right here. Watch what he does. He trips up 78.
Well, what he was doing, I think, was running a stunt.
He was running a stunt.
Only thing is,
And he dove bombed.
And 28 pushed him down in the middle of his stunt.
Put it this way. The coaches are gonna be like, "What was y'all doing? What's
going on?
Look, watch him.
One,
Will's right.
28 don't even get off the ball.
He stunted his own guy.
he don't get off his knee.
And he smacks his own defensive end in the back on the way down. Good job. It was just a funny play. The defensive linemen are funny to watch sometimes if you can catch them. Will watches these linemen pretty good.
I do.
How about the direct snap to Blake McClellan fighting his way in the end zone? Watch him take this initial hit. Boom! Back him up. And in the end zone.
They wish that had worked in overtime for them. Unfortunately, they had their starting quarterback turned his ankle, and that Blake took over at quarterback.
Is that one or two? That's two.
This Crest going up 28-0 right here.
Golly, he turns that corner so quick, Will.
Jeez.
Who's two?
Two is Adams, I think.
Okay. Chase on the 2-yard line. This made it 21-14.
I know who 6 is. And I know who
I've
1
got
is.
the roster
And I know who
right.
14 is.
Nice little run from the
Keeps his
Chargers.
feet.
Number
Yep.
20.
That's the new kid. That's his last
Number
name
2
is
is
Tate.
A.J.
20 is
Adams.
Tate.
Hey, Kevin, he cut him off on the outside and made him go back
He
inside.
did. You ought to aim to the outside.
Good
Adams
technique.
is 5'9", 165
That's a
pounds.
good point.
Who
Will,
was that?
A.J. Adams, 5'9", 165 pounds, Will.
AJ done had a sandwich though. I know AJ. I seen him. He done had a sandwich before.
We'll watch 12 here. This is what I was talking about as far as DB's attacking the left leg. He missed. There was a ghost there, but he made him turn to the inside, and he didn't have no help to the inside. But this is what you're supposed to do. 12 does the right job. He got juked, but at least he missed to the outside. So there's supposed to be a safety there
And
to
they-
help out when he turned him that way.
And the defense gets to him. It's just it was a short field, so he crossed the end zone. But look, they
it would only been like a 20-yard game. So
right, yeah. as opposed to like a 50.
Maiden, this is their touchdown. Down 10-7, down 10-0. Quarterback keeper right side, up the middle, shakes a couple feet, kicks it back out the right side, touchdown.
So I don't know how this play works as much as it do. It worked well for South Point last week against Crest. I have no clue how that play works as much as it do, but it seems to work well in high school ball.
Rutherford High School homecoming queen, Jada Stroud.
Jada Stroud. Miss Jada Stroud, homecoming queen, East Rutherford. We're running out of time here, folks. How about the East Rutherford fans going to play us the score shift? I'm going to let you read the scores away. We'll get ready.
All right, and I'll give a quick shout out as well to JJ and to Pastor Joe, the chaplain for East Rutherford. I told him to give him a shout out. Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate y'all tuning in. All right, here's the scores. Running down real quick. Crest shuts out North Gaston 36-0. Cherryville shuts out Highland Tech 46-0. West Lincoln defeats Newton Conover 26-20. 28-21. Brevard defeats Chase. Is that right? Wow. Burns defeats Jefferson 70-7. Yeah, East right. Gaston 43, Bessemer City 13. Community School Davidson 56, Winston-Salem Prep 6. Pine Lake Prep defeats Bishop McGinnis 58-26. Carver defeats Corbin Community 26-14. Swain 21, Hayesville 13, Mountain Heritage 45, Avery 7. Robbinsville defeats Murphy 26-21. Lincolnton 49, West Caldwell 13. Maiden defeats Bandy's in a close one 14-10. RS Central beats Patton. Not so close one, 26-6. Bunker Hill 28, East Burke 6. Hendersonville 41 defeats East Rutherford 41-35 in overtime. Mountain Island, the Raptors defeat Christ the King 38-33. Cherokee 21, Andrews 14, Rosman 48 over Owen Warhorses 48-21. Defeats Asheville 41-13. North Stanley 57, Lake Norman 20. Close game, Wilkes Central defeats West Wilkes 7-6. Not so close, North Lincoln defeats St. Stephen's 50-0. East Lincoln 62, Frenchy Ford 13. Close game, Hunter Huss defeats Forest View 18-15. The Hickory Red Tornadoes defeat North Iredale 46-13. Ashbrook defeats Kramer 41-6. Not sure if this is a final, but we have last score we have West Iredale 18, Statesville 13. North Henderson defeats Franklin 31-0. Tuscola shuts out East Henderson North Henderson defeats Franklin 31-10. Tuscola shuts out East Henderson 41-0. West Henderson 30, Pisgah 10. Ashe County 35, High Brighton 7. Freedom defeats South Caldwell 37-30. And we do not have a score for South Point and Kings Mountain. Email for the score at wkhyde@gaston.k12.nc.us is what it tells me to read.
And just the West Iredale and Statesville game is continued tomorrow.
Yes, I did hear you. Thank you. I'm sorry. That's the game that was postponed. Yes, thank you, Dennis, for reminding me.
All right, folks, thanks for listening tomorrow and watching tomorrow morning. Saturday morning sports talk. Kevin Hayes, I've got Tom Finafani, Terry, Zach. We talk college football, NFL. We'll give the scores again. We'll go over some highlights, talk Cherryville coach. We'll talk NBA, Major League Baseball playoffs, and more. Thanks for watching and listening to the postgame show brought to you by CSI Mechanical. Dennis Davis is here. Will Boykins is here. Chip Carr, thanks for coming up here.
And JP's here.
JP's
here. Hey, report from East Rutherford. Steve said there was 30 people there for Henderson.
Okay. So, he got it right. I can't believe Steve and I were at the same game, didn't even see each other. Coach Pruitt, good job, Cherryville, by the way.
He moves like a shadow.
He lost him in the crowd.
That's right.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. KTCBroadcasting.com.
See you next week.
We out.